Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. I neglected to put this on the agenda, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. We're going to do a roll call to put it in the record who's here and who's not here. Mr. Safety, not here. Ms. Paris, here. Ms. Hale,
Here.
Mr. Brock, here. Mr. King, here. Ms. Hamby,
Here.
Ms. Boston,
Here.
Ms. Cargy,
Here.
Chairman's here. Okay. All right. Next item on the agenda is the ESSER 2.0 Engineering Architecture Services Recommendation. I'll turn that over to Dr. Maxwell and Ms. Harris.
Okay, so Mr. Inman and board members, the ESSER committee met last week, and they have a recommendation for the engineering and architectural services. And Ms. Harris, is there any additional information you'd like to share, or the committee?
Just, it's a little bit of a different process than we had this discussion in the committee. Instead of selecting based on price with a professional service such as engineering and architecture, we do, instead of a bid, we do a request for qualifications. So we had 3 companies submit those. Those are attached here. And out of committee, the committee recommended that we go with our local Uplands Design Group.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
When we were looking at this, because it is about qualifications and we do not know price, it's very, very different. It was kind of a matter of all things being equal, where do we go? And that's where the committee chose to lean and recommend on the side of a local company that we have a known relationship with. We know their work. And that was where that recommendation came from.
I'll move to accept.
Okay, I was getting ready to. Okay, we've got a motion by Mr. Brock and a second by Ms. Cargy. Is there any discussion?
Now, if they give us a price and we don't like it, we can say we don't like that price. We want to entertain the idea of seeing what the other people entertain.
Yes.
We can do that.
That was, to me, that's a odd way of doing it, but I think that's the way we have been told we have to do it.
Right. And it is in Tennessee code that for this, I think because of the nature of the work, that price shall not preclude the qualifications for the type of the work. And it is different for us. And I will tell you, we will be doing the same process a little bit later on for ESSER 3. We have to do 2 separate ones to meet our requirements. So it'll be back.
Any further discussion? Oh, Ms. Shirley, come on in.
You got it? We were just talking about that.
Ms. Shirley, we've had a motion and a second on number 3 right there, ESSER 2.0 Engineering Architectural Services Recommendation. The committee came back and recommended that we use Uplands Design. And now there was no price involved or anything. We were just looking at qualifications. And if they come back with some kind of astronomical numbers, then we can always say, no, we're not going to do that, and we can go back and pick another company. Okay, and but they came back from the committee recommending the Uplands Design Group, and the motion has been made, and there is a second to accept that and take and use them to begin with. Okay. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Before we go any further, I neglected to put on the agenda also to recognize any elected officials here. We want to say thank you, Mr. Lowe, for being here. We appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, and we had Miss Sue York was here earlier for the Budget Committee, and but thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, the next item on the agenda is ESSER 3.0 budget, and I'll turn it over to Ms.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. King, would you like to present that budget amendment, or shall I?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, and Ms. Harris, please chime in. The Budget Committee met earlier and approved the ESSER 3 budget with the following $750,000 taken from line 707 to be moved to the architectural and engineering fee line, because when this was first developed, we did not know that that line was needed in the budget. And that came out of Budget Committee with the recommendation to go to the full board.
Move to approve budget as amended.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Came from the committee.
That's true. Came from a committee, so it doesn't need a second. That's true. Came from a committee. I've gotten out of practice on that. Okay, is there any discussion? No discussion? All right, then, I know since this is on a budget, I think I'll do a roll call vote. Ms. Parris?
Donna,
Yes, ma'am.
do you recommend this?
I do. I do.
The funds didn't change, it's just a line item change.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, got a yes, Ms. Parris. Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hamby?
Yes.
Ms. Boston?
No.
Ms. Cargy?
Yes.
And Chairman votes yes. Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the non-certified salary study discussion and budget amendment.
So this budget amendment, in previous years, I believe, and even recently, there's been discussion from this board and others to do a non-certified salary study because of the, as we all know, it's getting harder and harder to retain employees and to recruit employees. And so this budget amendment is asking the board to move $30,000 from the software line, which the software is not developmentally ready for purchase yet at this time, to the contracted services line for this salary study, if the board wishes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, who got the second?
Chris.
Sorry, was that a recommendation from the salary study committee?
Yes,
So we don't need a second.
that's true. We don't. Okay, so Ms. Carty made the motion. All right, is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
How much is in that software line?
We budgeted $30,000 for this particular product. In the line, there's more, because there's more products that we have purchased. But this one, we budgeted about $30,000
For this particular software?
for, yes.
And it's just not ready to
It's
not
full
where
of
it needs to be.
promises.
do
It's not
what?
where it needs to be yet.
Can you explain that?
It's just, we have to, I want it to be where it can talk to the software, the payroll software, and I just don't think it's to the point we're there yet, because they just upgraded. So I'd rather wait for them to get all completely in their new software for payroll before we go in anything new here on
Do
our
we expect that to be on the budget for
next year.
this next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very much pushing forward with it. I just think we need to give it a little, let them get settled in their new software.
bugs
and then
out.
Before we move forward with something else.
So, okay, that's fine. This recommendation came out of the salary study?
Is that where it came from? Yes.
Is that where it is?
Yes.
Whoever's on that committee, thank you. This is needed for a long time.
Yeah.
Your name was mentioned, Ms. Boston, as having that idea floating out there a couple of years ago.
It's been needed for a long time, not only non-certified, but certified, but it's a starting point.
It's a start.
It's a starting point. So whoever brought that up and got that started, thank you very, very much.
I have a question. Now, this money is going to be used to look at all the salaries, or we're putting it toward them, or explain that to me, please.
We're going to look at, go ahead, you do it. You can do it better than I
Well,
can.
actually, Ms. Bray, she's studied this quite extensively.
No, basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna look at our job descriptions, they're gonna look at the salary schedule as it is to make sure that we have folks where they need to be in the proper categories, it meets the expectations that we have from them. They're gonna compare our salaries for different positions
Okay.
to the surrounding counties and some counties that are approximately our size that have our tax base. So we can just see that we're in a line where we need to be.
Okay,
We're
Thank
looking
you.
at hiring somebody to do that.
okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes, Ms. Boston?
Another question, since you brought that up. Now, will they, and I'm gonna pick on you, not going to, but you're non-certified.
Correct.
Will they look at your position as well?
Correct. I want them to look at all non-certified, but my focus is on our hourly people.
And that would be my focus as well. I just didn't know if that would incorporate
Yes,
anybody that is non-certified will be looked at.
right. I have given them the information, well, I mean, it's all public. I mean, I told them where the job descriptions were, and both the salary scales are published. And I said, yes, I want you to give some consideration, but emphasis on our hourly people.
Who have you given this information to? I mean, do we already have someone chosen?
We have 3 people that have looked at it, that I'm expecting proposals from.
Okay, so they're gonna come back with a proposal. What we're doing right now is we're just moving the money into a line item. So when that proposal comes back, is it already approved? Or does it have to come back before the board for approval?
I think the budget amendment would be the mechanism to move the money, and if the board so chose, to authorize us to go ahead and get going,
We would proceed.
get that ball rolling. Ideally, I'm ever the optimist, we would have some information in time for this year's budget. The folks we've talked to said, the sooner we get started, the sooner that might be a possibility.
But it's not a quick process.
Right.
But whenever you pick someone, then you'll bring it to us and say, this is who we've chosen.
It's up to the board. We would like to take it and run with it, but if you all want us to bring it back, and we can do either way.
What's the motion on the table right now? Just the budget
to
amendment.
approve.
Just to approve the budget?
30,000.
Make a second motion.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of your question.
If we move this money, can we go back and make another motion giving you the authority to get this started?
I think so, yes,
Okay, okay.
yes.
I would just really like to see these increases, because, I mean, let's face facts. I mean, we're way, way, way out of the ballpark right now. When, custodians are getting $9 an hour, but you can work in fast food for 12.
And we're getting consistent $8.46 to
Yeah.
work with our children.
Absolutely, and
So-
that needs to be.
We need to make sure that we get this done quickly so that we can put it in this next budget. Absolutely.
Okay, well, we'll,
So are you amending your motion?
no,
I
we'll,
can't
no, we
because it came out of
can't.
the
We'll,
committee.
Oh,
yeah, we will vote on this, and then we can have another motion
Okay.
to give them the green light to go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Once again, since this is dealing with money, we'll do a roll call. Is there any other discussion? Okay. All right. Ms. Paris?
Yes.
Ms. Hale?
Yes,
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Hamby?
Yes.
Ms. Boston?
Yes.
Ms. Cargy?
Yes.
And Chair votes yes. Okay. Now, open up the floor for any additional.
I would just like to go ahead and make a motion that, I know that you've got it sent out to 3 companies, individuals, whatever it is that you have, that we give the authority to Ms. Bray, Ms. Ms. Harris, whoever we need to go ahead and choose within the $30,000 budget that we have, a company to go ahead and get this started. And so that there is not a delay in getting it started if we can move it forward to, and have it ready by budget.
And I'll second that.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Not hear none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Director of School search process. Ms. Hamby, you requested this, and so I'll call on you first to let you have your discussion or whatever ideas you have.
Well, I just want to know how we move forward. I want us all to kind of be in sync of what we're doing, what we're trying to find, you know, how we are going to proceed. That's the reason I wanted the meeting, was just so that we can discuss and see what needs to happen to move forward.
Okay.
Question?
Yes, Ms. Curry.
I know we've already opened up for resumes. Have we received any at this time?
Or? Okay.
What was the
and,
timeframe?
well,
that we did
when,
last time? Was it like 2 months, 30 days? It was a month? Okay.
I put on everything I posted so far through February the 23rd, we be receiving resumes.
Okay.
and they asked me about the time frame, and I suggested the 23rd because that's the day before our February meeting. And then if the board so chooses to open it up for a longer period of time, then we can do that now, or we can do it on the 23rd, on the 24th.
Just a question. Once the deadline is met, then we will receive those resumes, right? Like we did the last time? Okay.
Now,
Y'all can tell me who you want to set interviews with, and I'll do like I did the last time. I'll set the interview.
How many applicants did we get the last time?
Well,
Yeah, well, I think we had 12 last time.
if I remember
And-
correctly.
And there were
I haven't
4
been
local,
looking
I
there, but I think
Yes.
10 or 12.
and the board chose to look at local candidates first, and then and interview those. And if we did not come to a conclusion on a local candidate, then we would open up interviews for out of county.
I would like to do that again.
Have we received any local?
I mean,
Okay, they've all been, let's call it out of county for right now.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Then, yes, I think we need to open it up for out of county, just so that out of county knows that's,
Right now, it's open up to anybody, right?
Right.
Right.
correct.
oh, okay,
And
okay.
it's posted in 7 different places. Right now, I don't believe we have anyone that has applied that has Tennessee credentials, though.
Oops.
That got my attention.
Yeah. So, well, we've still got some time, and like I said, on the 24th, we can look at how many we've got, who has applied, and we can choose to open it up, extend the time, or we can go forth with setting up interviews, whatever the board so chooses.
We got a lot of really great.
Is that the
great people
24th
here,
of
and I'd love to see
February?
them
Yes.
apply.
Usually we get several the last week. That's the way it was last time.
Well, Tony's not gonna turn his in until.
What is the current deadline?
23rd.
I have another question.
I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yes.
Just hush. I'm kidding. That was a joke. But anyway, if we have not chosen someone in a certain time frame, is it a possibility for us to have an interim?
That's always a possibility. I think we've got plenty of time that we shouldn't have to do that, but that is a possibility, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to
Yeah.
know if that was something that was possible.
It'd be a hard position to be in. know that you've got an expiration date.
Well, yeah, in the past, the board, several boards have done that. They've hired an interim, and they're in a very tough situation when they've got that term interim in front of their name. And if there's any way possible, I would prefer not to do that to somebody. If we're going to hire somebody, we need to hire somebody, whether for whatever period of time that we're going to put on the contract.
I agree. I just wanted to know if that was a possibility,
Yes.
if we run into a time crunch and needed. But yes, I would rather hire someone than have someone as interim, so.
Yeah, because like I said, I've seen that, and it does. It just puts the person in charge they're just in a precarious situation, and it's not fair to them, I don't think.
I agree.
Okay, is there any other further discussion? I mean, anybody else got any ideas? Mr.
Will
Brown?
this be added to our discussion list for our retreat?
We can.
Well, I mean, I just think that by then, we could at least take a look at candidates, applications, and
Well, we've got
further discussion, and at that time, I think it
February
definitely ought to be
26th.
Yeah,
on there
February
somewhere.
Yeah.
26th.
yeah, we've got, the deadline's the 23rd. We've got our board meeting on the 24th, and then we have our retreat on the 26th. So, yes. I think we can definitely put that on there for discussion.
It's a good idea.
And speaking of, since we've brought that subject up, anybody have any ideas for anything you want to discuss on the retreat? You need to be contacting Dr. Maxwell and or myself, and preferably Dr. Maxwell, and let them know what you'd like to have on the agenda for discussion. That includes you, Mr. Patton. So if you got anything you want to talk about, just let us know.
I will. Thank you, sir.
Is there any other discussion on the director of schools process? Okay, so we're just going to leave it as we're going to just leave it open to the 23rd as of now, and then we'll make a decision on the 24th to in which direction we want to go.
I have a question. Are we going to kind of use the same kind of thing that we did last time with asking the different questions? Are we going to do that during the interview, or are we going to get together and decide what questions
That's
we?
something we need to talk about in the retreat, I think,
Okay.
is how we're going to
Yeah.
proceed with the interviews.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we can do that on the retreat. That'd be a really good discussion. But yeah, we can figure that out. Or we can make suggestions. Now, during the retreat, we can't vote.
No,
We
but
can't vote on anything. We can't make any
Right.
firm decisions, but we can kind of get an idea of which direction we want to go. Okay. All right, is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll move on.
Move to adjourn.
Well, I got to go over other discussion first. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss? Other discussion? Hearing none, now I'll take a motion. I've got a motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.